All my life I'd had a fascination with photographs and with photography, and I remember as a kid saying, oh, one day I'm going to be a photographer, you know, but I didn't really realize that. I didn't really realize that I could actually do that. I was a military brat, and we were living in San Diego, and my mother is from Meriden, Connecticut. So when my parents put in for Meriden, Connecticut for their next move, they wound up in Meridian, Mississippi. Moving here as a kid, it was a culture shock. I didn't understand the language. You know, it was a culture shock that it took a bit of getting used to, but, you know, I've been here all my life now, so I'm one of y'all.
While moving to Mississippi may have initially been a culture shock for Mary Ann, that same culture would later be a driving factor in her life.
I was pursuing, you know, mass communications type thing, transferred to Southern, and I thought, well, you know, when you get to Southern, you'll figure it out.
Upon arriving at Southern Mississippi, Mary Ann stumbled across the photojournalism department. And with that accidental discovery, she made the choice to focus on a career in photojournalism.
I got my first job at the Pensacola News Journal, which was a really good gig, fresh out of college. And I learned so much there. So everything I had learned at Southern had prepared me for, you know, hard news coverage at a newspaper, which is what I fell in love with doing.
With that skill, Mary Ann quickly found herself covering major news stories that would feature her work in news publications around the globe.
I photographed a lot of really poignant news stories in our nation's history. I've shot 9/11. You know, Katrina was the most horrendous news event I ever photographed, and I won't ever do it again. That was it. That was enough for me. I've done a lot of political work. Shooting for Governor Haley Barbour was a highlight of my career. I mean, getting to be the photographer for Governor for 8 years, that was incredible. I got to photograph presidents. I photographed both Bushes. I found myself sitting in a small ranch house in the living room with the homeowner, President Bush, and Governor and Mrs. Haley Barbour, which was just a real surreal type of, you know, is this real? I mean, he's the president sitting right there in this living room, you know, it's kind of odd.
So after 8 years of working alongside the governor and meeting presidents and other powerful dignitaries, Mary Ann could have chosen to stay on the path of political photojournalism, but she already had a different direction in mind. One that would not only keep her working in the field she loves, but would also have a positive impact on Mississippi.
When I was coming off the last term with Governor Barbour, I knew that I was going to need a career shift then, because I wasn't going to continue down the same path in politics. I had already begun to publish a weddings magazine, and someone said to me, have you ever thought about publishing arts and entertainment in Mississippi? If you know, and I honestly hadn't really considered it a whole lot. When I started looking at the newsstands and looking around, we didn't have any publications that were dedicated to the arts in Mississippi, which is what we're all about. So then I launched Legends in 2009.
You know, I got an invitation to come down to her office, so I went down and sat in the little office there, and she was telling me what she was going to do, and quite honestly, I didn't believe her. I thought she was being overly optimistic, let's say. But lo and behold, when I saw the work product that she had done, I was frankly very impressed, and still am.
We're real excited about it when it comes out and we first look at it, and these things go home with people. There's nothing in the marketplace that's like it, and it's still not, that I'm aware of. I mean, not here in Mississippi. Mississippi being the birthplace of America's music, you know, music is a big, you know, part of what we do every day.
It very succinctly tells the story of Mississippi, not just musicians, but, you know, food and homes and people.
Actually, I started the publication because I thought, I saw a need for it in Mississippi. I saw a niche market for it, but I didn't really truly understand how badly it was needed until after I got into it. Perfect, that's what I need. Michelle, move a little closer to him if you would, please. I've had people ask me, aren't you afraid you're going to run out of content? That looks really good. In Mississippi, are you kidding me? It's a renewable resource. I mean, we're growing this stuff all the time.
When you look at the people that's come through here, You know, Tennessee Williams, my gosh, Elvis Presley, Jimmy Rogers. Nobody can match us. So how many pages is this going to be total? I always carry my camera wherever I travel. A friend of mine, Rick Courtney, introduced me to Mary Ann one day, and I said, well, you know, I move around a lot. I'm going to Juke Joint Festival. I can shoot it if you like. Or either I'm going to Sunflower. I got, you know, some pretty cool photographs if you'd like, you know, me to contribute to the magazine.
You know, regionalize these stories that we can pull more people in from around the state.
It was kind of give and take a little bit at first. You know, she liked some of my work, she critiqued me hard on, and some just like, well, this is cool, this looks good. Probably first, second edition. It was relatively young. Bobby Rush. Once we started developing more trust, and then I helped a lot with the business reorganization. You know, we complement each other well on our skill sets. Mary Ann's a great editor, and I'm more out there, you know, in the public domain with what I do. We both have a tremendous amount of sweat equity in this magazine. It's a labor of love, you know.
We're growing in baby steps, which I think is the best way to do it.
It's still evolving, you know. You know, we're not complacent. We're moving forward. We've done some cool stories, but we're going to continue to, you know, raise the bar every edition. You know, that's my goal.
Mississippi, frankly, has a story to tell, not just to Mississippians, but to the world at large.
And that's where the magazine comes in, not only with well-written articles about Mississippi's icons, but also with an eye-catching glossy cover, just waiting to tell yet another story about the truly legendary people who call Mississippi home.
Being a Mississippian, I sometimes criticize my state by saying that we don't tell our story. We need to tell our story because, frankly, it's an impressive story. As we all know, there's a lot of very, very, very talented people in Mississippi. And it does my heart good to see a capable person, regardless of what field of endeavor they're in. It does my heart good to see them succeed.
I want them to take away a sense of what we're really all about. Because of those stereotypes and because of the history and because of all the notions and the misconceptions that people have about Mississippi, being the bottom on the list, I'd like to overturn that. I'd like for people to view Mississippi as, you know, yeah, we do reach the bottom of some lists, but we reach the top on a lot of other lists. And that's what I want them to see.